when you start hiring A players and they come to you with their ideas about how they can make things better, it's not you, the business owner, who has to do everything. Your A players get excited with their ideas. And when they understand the sweet spot of the business, they can see how to apply their strengths to support the sweet spot. And that ties into having clear expectations, because if they don't know the sweet spot of the business, if you don't know the sweet spot of the business, it's very hard to create clear expectations for them. But when they understand what the clear expectations are, and then they get that freedom and flexibility to innovate around those expectations, that's where they really show up very powerfully in the business. You work hard in your business. What has your business done for you lately? Hi, I'm Dr. Sabrina Starling, the business psychologist, the author of the 4-Week Vacation and the How to Hire the Best series, as well as the founder of Tap the Potential, where we coach entrepreneurs like you to design sustainably profitable businesses that give you more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. We believe work supports life, not the other way around. Weekly on the Profit by Design podcast, our team brings you tips, tools, and strategies to support you in making intentionally profitable and sustainable decisions to live the lifestyle you desire. Kaitlyn Beaver is joining me today. We both facilitate the How to Hire the Best course. Kaitlyn is our lead facilitator in How to Hire the Best. Kaitlyn, as we kick off today, we're going to talk about current hiring trends, and we try to update our business owners on this every year in the How to Hire the Best course, just to make sure that everything that we're teaching is relevant. And I thought it would be fun for Kaitlyn and I both to share a little bit about why we're so passionate about How to Hire the Best and what we love about this course. So Kaitlyn, I'm going to ask you to step in and share what you love about the How to Hire the Best course.
I'm so happy and thrilled to share, and I'm so inspired by the How to Hire the Best course. I have extensive background in marketing, and I also have a background in workforce development. And so when I learned about Tap the Potential and I learned more about the How to Hire the Best series, it really aligns with my why. We all have to show up to work every day, day in and day out. And regardless of if you're an A player who wants to find purpose in their work, what's so wonderful about the How to Hire the Best course is that we're helping small business owners stand out in their market. And we're also giving them an opportunity to really become employers of choice. We all have to be at work, so why not make it a great place to be? And so I absolutely am over the moon about the opportunity to be able to not only support small business owners who see the value in that and want to get really excited about building a positive company culture. On the other end, though, I've been that A player looking for purposeful work, looking for a company vision and mission that I can inspire to really carry on through my legacy. And that's where How to Hire the Best comes in for our A players. We are creating opportunities for A players to add value and to thrive in their workplace and really build positive relationships, not just with their team, but with the clients that they're serving. So that's what I love to do. And I'm just so passionate. And I love seeing the connections and the light bulbs that go off when our small business owners realize what's possible when they have A players on their team and when they nurture them.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. As someone whose first job burned me out, I was on a mission from the very beginning to figure out how to create great places to work. I was always looking at what are the ingredients, what goes on with the leadership in a great place to work. And I initially was looking at corporate and wanting to take my message into corporate. And what I found is small business owners are much better than corporate, because small business owners, in my experience, not all of them, but those of you who listen to this podcast, you're in this group that you want to create a great place to work and you're just lacking the skills. Like, no one teaches that anywhere. It's not part of college courses. It's not part of typical business training. And what I love is when I can show a small business owner the simple steps to becoming a great place to work. And it starts off with intentionality. And I went through everything that's involved in creating a great place to work on last week's episode. So if you missed that, just go back and listen. And what I think is so fun is when business owners come in and into the How to Hire the Best course and they've had hiring PTSD, that feeling of I'm ready to throw in the towel. I don't want to hire people. I would rather just go back to a simpler time when it was just me and one other person maybe running the business that I could count on. And that's where the business really starts to shrink. And when business owners come into the How to Hire the Best course, they're usually pretty beaten down and discouraged, but because we've had so many owners go through the course now who have been featured in our Great Place to Work spotlight, they've shared their story, they've shared their journey. They've been inspired by hearing our business owners who are having success in hiring A players. And when they quickly learn that there are some simple steps that you can take to hiring your next A player, and it's not hard, that hope and that confidence starts to build. And my favorite thing is when they make that first A player hire and they're so excited and they get that person and they're training them. And when you're in the How to Hire the Best course, it's not just like 5 weeks with us and then you're done. Like you're in there as long as you want to be in there. And we continue to support you through the whole cycle of hiring, onboarding, dealing with employee issues that come up. If the hiring challenges, if you mishired, we help you figure that out. So I love seeing that whole journey as a business owner's experience of being a leader and running a business transforms, and that pride of like, I'm creating a great place to work and this feels really good. So Kaitlyn, let's dive in. And I want to have you talk about what A players are looking for in the workplace right now. What matters to them?
So first, let's talk about who A players are. Well, A players are your top performers. They are your go-getters and they are your game changers. They're the people that you trust in the business to help you move forward, accomplish your goals, and hopefully accomplish a greater vision and mission and purpose for the people that you're impacting. And as A players, we find that there are so many things that they crave in the workplace. The first is growth opportunities. So according to a LinkedIn survey, 87% of millennials rate professional or career growth and development opportunities as important to them as in a job. So it's incredibly important to tune in with your A players, see what matters to them, and see what opportunities there might be for them as they grow and thrive in your business. Another thing that they get really energized about is innovation. They want to try new things. A survey by Deloitte found that 85% of respondents believe innovation is very important to their organization's success. So you always want to empower your A players to innovate. And those things could be, we call micro innovations or macro innovations, but they all have this ripple effect in the business. And your A players are going to be really excited to take on those challenges and talk through new solutions. That'll be a game changer for your business. The next, which is probably my personal favorite, is clear expectations. Your A players are going to be chomping at the bit for this, but the studies show it too. According to a study by Gallup, employees who strongly agree that their supervisor sets clear goals and expectations are 3.6 times more likely to be engaged than other employees.
Okay, so let's just pause here. So we've talked about development. They want career development and personal development. They want to be part of the innovation and they want clear expectations. And so this ties into the Tap the Potential solution because we teach you to set clear expectations with your A players. Step 3 in the Tap the Potential solution is innovation. So once you've niched down and you've identified your sweet spot, then you move into really understanding how you can serve your top clients better and better. And this is what is so fun because when you start hiring A players and they come to you with their ideas about how they can make things better, it's not you, the business owner, who has to do everything. Your A players get excited with their ideas. And when they understand the sweet spot of the business, they can see how to apply their strengths to support the sweet spot. And that ties into having clear expectations because if they don't know the sweet spot of the business, if you don't know the sweet spot of the business, it's very hard to create clear expectations for them. But when they understand what the clear expectations are, and then they get that freedom and flexibility to innovate around those expectations, that's where they really show up very powerfully in the business.
Absolutely. And just from personal experience at Tap the Potential, I light up at the idea of hearing some challenge or question. And as a team, being able to have my voice heard and share my expertise and come to all these different solutions or innovations that we're implementing in the business, it just lights me up. It lights my soul on fire. And it'll be the same for your A players too.
Well, and I want to weave this together because this is where the A player development planning becomes so powerful, because when you're focused on here's where I want to be in the next year or two, these are the things I want to accomplish, and we're creating these goals around your development, it's clear there are gaps. Like there's some training that's needed, and then some areas where you're going to need to spend some time and focus. And we can track that and plan that out on your A player development plan. So that's where innovating around serving clients better really aligns with developing A players. And it comes together, and your A players have tangible evidence of their impact. And that is what makes people excited, because they know they're impacting your best clients and customers and changing lives through what they're doing.
Absolutely. And the stats show it, right? So 76% of employees said that they would be more likely to stay with their current employer if they saw opportunities for career growth. What we also see is that when we're focused on A player development, this increases touch points with leadership. And that too really impacts the experience, the employee experience that they're having, and they become more engaged and they feel more motivated at work. It creates this opportunity to build that relationship. And when you have that voice, and when you're able to be coached, and you see the possibilities that there are with your growth trajectory, your A players are going to be loyal to that, and they're going to get really excited.
Yeah. And, I think our natural tendency when we have a team of a couple of A players and then some warm bodies, and we're busy doing all the work, our natural tendency is to leave our A players alone because they got this, right? And that's the worst thing that you can do, because that's where your A players feel like they don't know what their opportunities for advancement are. Their voice isn't being heard. They're not being nurtured. And so you can see an A player who starts off highly engaged, and you'll see their engagement start to decline. So I really want to encourage you. I know as a business owner, your time is very limited. So stop spending time trying to coach your warm bodies. Give up on them. Really, you need to fire them. Don't fire all of them at once, but pick your worst one, fire them, and then put more attention on nurturing your A players, because A players are 900 to 1200% more productive than your warm body team members. And so one of the things that I love about the How to Hire the Best course is that once you're confident in hiring A players, it makes it much easier to let go of those warm body team members. And you need to do that so that you can attract those A players.
Absolutely. Something else that comes to mind for me, Dr. Sabrina, is really having that ability to fail forward, and fail faster. And I know when you hear the word fail, I'm sure some of you are cringing. I don't want to fail. That scares me. I want to succeed. But when we encourage our A players to take risks and learn from failure, A players will become more adaptable to change. And in a small business, we need to be adaptable, right? So don't be afraid to encourage your A players to fail forward, to fail faster. And as A players, they're going to welcome that. They're going to get really excited about being able to do that with you.
And, from the perspective of the business owner, it can be scary to turn A players loose and say, here, go try it. And at the same time, all of us who are entrepreneurs know that's how we built our businesses. We tried things. Some things worked, some things didn't. And we learned from our mistakes. And when you're coaching your A players, you're going to guide them through the mistakes, let them make the mistakes, and then guide them through figuring out how to pick up and move forward from that. That increases their confidence. And that's so important, because you, the business owner, don't want to have everything on your shoulders. So when your A players are confident in their decision making, and that they'll try things, and even if they mess up, they know they have a support system, they will take more and more initiative, and the business overall will become less dependent on you over time.
So The last thing that comes to mind when we're thinking about what our A players want is really the opportunity to network with like-minded people. So a LinkedIn survey recently showed that 70% of professionals feel that networking is important to their career success. And they have this yearning for in-person networking and mentoring opportunities. And we've seen this skyrocket again. And I think what's so incredible about being able to network with like-minded people is you are the sum of the 5 people that are around you, right? So the more you surround yourself with people who are on that trajectory, maybe at different points in their lives, you just have this opportunity to really unlock a higher level of success. And your A players are going to be really energized that they get to go out and meet people who are working towards the same goals so that they can really have a team of people that rally around them for their continued success and growth.
Yes. So I think one of the things that's really important to understand about A players in a small business, and especially if you're in a small town or a rural area and you have A players in your business, your A players are so excited to be a part of your business because they are surrounding themselves with high-level professionals in a professional environment, and they may not have that anywhere else in their network. So work becomes a safe haven for them. And that also means, though, that you have the responsibility to help them build their network and get exposed to other A players out there in the world. So sending them to conferences, doing that in-person mentoring and one-to-one meetings that you do on your team, you absolutely need to be doing that. But it really seems like because of COVID, when A players were coming back to workplaces that were half empty because some people were working from home, some people were in the office, there was a sense of loneliness and disengagement. And especially for younger team members who need that opportunity to grow and develop, they weren't getting mentored. And so if you are doing any of these things where you're really building a strong relationship with your A players and mentoring them and creating opportunities out there in the world for them to build other relationships and to up level their 5 people, right? That is going to go a long way to retaining A players. And we're about to go now into talking about workforce trends. And I want to talk retention first, Kaitlyn, and then I'm going to let you share some of the other trends. But retention is such a big deal when it comes, we're the Profit by Design podcast. And when you have high turnover in your business, you can't be profitable because so much money is leaking out the back door of the business. Because when you rehire someone, it can cost up to 3 times their salary. So if you're paying someone $30,000 a year and you have to rehire them, it can cost up to $90,000 in the business. And no small business owner has just $90,000 sitting around saying, "Yep, let me just throw that out the door." And so learning how to hire right will help you retain, but all the mentoring, A player development that you do, that's a big part of the retention. The current trend in the workforce right now, team members are staying in businesses about 1 year. That's the average retention. Yes. And I think that has a lot to do with all of the shifts that were happening after COVID. People are really trying to find themselves and find the right fit in the workplace. So I want you to hear this. If you're retaining your A players longer than a year, number one, you're already standing out as an employer of choice because you're doing some things right. And when you're in the How to Hire the Best course, we can help you surface what those things are that you're doing right. And you want to really promote that in your hiring process and make those intangible perks very clear to attract more A players. And the longer you can retain your A players, the greater the impact on the profitability of the business. So that's one trend. Kaitlyn, what else is going on out there?
Well, Dr. Sabrina, we're starting to see a younger labor force. So Gen Z workers will make up a larger share of the workforce, overtaking baby boomers, especially in full-time roles. So we're talking, companies are really expected to hire about 15% more recent graduates in 2024. That's a massive increase. And millennials will dominate the workforce until sometime in the early 2040s, according to Glassdoor's estimates. So it's really important to start thinking about how can I not only stand out as an employer of choice, but create more opportunities that are attractive to other generations that are coming into the workforce, right? To get them excited.
You're going to share with us what we need to know about Gen Z because they're up and coming and we really need to understand them. Well, I want to make a really important point, and that is that what we have found, I've been teaching the How to Hire the Best course for over a decade now, and it blows me away through various economic conditions, various generations in the workforce. And so as you listen to Kaitlyn go through what Gen Z is looking for in the workforce, when you're hitting these things, you are hitting things that are important to A players pretty much across the board.
Absolutely. That's a great point. So let's talk about what some of those things are. Technology and digital literacy. So Gen Z is described as digital natives. And I think someone shared with me the other day, and I was like, wow, that's got to sink in. Millennials are going to be the first in their senior years to really understand technology. So we're really moving into that digital world. And Gen Z, they are described as digital natives. They have grown up immersed in technology and the internet. So you could be leaving money on the table and opportunities behind by not recognizing that and empowering them to bring that with them. You should get excited about this because they're highly comfortable navigating the digital world and integrating new technologies into their lives so they can bring that to your company.
Yes. And I will tell you, as an older person in the workplace, I so appreciate our younger team members who embrace technology, who are eager to learn it. You know, I started on Atari when I was a little girl, and there have been many changes in the world since then. And I'm kind of tired and fatigued about learning all the new things. And I love it that I have team members who are interested in that and want to do that, and I don't have to do it. But again, when your A players understand your sweet spot and your top clients, they can bring that comfort level that they have with technology and social media and help reach your top clients in a different way than you would ever consider doing.
Absolutely. And how exciting it is. Something else that we crave, and this is all A players again, is that social responsibility and activism. So what we see with Gen Z is they're known for being socially conscious and dedicated to social and political issues, but we've seen a lot of changes in that landscape the last couple of years. So I would say all A players want brands and employers to demonstrate strong ethics, sustainability, and support for causes like mental health, the environment, and even social justice.
You just nailed it, ethics. Like having good ethics, and that goes into your immutable laws and how is everyone on the team living out the immutable laws.
Absolutely. We also want employers that value authenticity, and we seek brands and employers who really align, again, with those immutable laws that we always talk about and provide that sense of purpose. And often we've seen some stats that show that they're even willing to turn down job offers or kind of disconnect from brands that don't meet those ethical standards. Diversity and inclusion is something else that really comes to mind. And as the most diverse generation in the US history, Gen Z highly values diversity, equity, and inclusion. They expect the employees they engage with to reflect these values.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and having a workforce or a workplace where you demonstrate respect, and I talk about that a lot in terms of what A players are looking for in the workplace. They want their ideas to be respected, but also their individuality to be respected. And so when you have that basic level of respect that exists within your company and you bring in your immutable laws around that, you're going to be hitting the key pieces of diversity, equity, and inclusion that are important to Gen Z.
Absolutely. Financial responsibility is something else that comes up. So with such an ambitious and success-oriented mindset, Gen Z, also exhibits financial caution and uncertainty about their financial status. And I'm sure we all feel that in some way with the way that the world is turning, but they really do prioritize making that money and having a successful career, but they also have to be responsible with their finances.
Yes. So, any mentoring that you can do with your team members to help them understand financial responsibility. So, on the A player development plan, we show our team members how to use profit first in their personal finances to make good decisions about their money. And so, as you are implementing the A player development plan with all of your team members who are A players, this is really going to resonate with the Gen Z. And what I find across the board, regardless of what generation we're talking about, there's a lack of financial literacy in our country. And that's why Profit First is so beneficial in small businesses. So if you're already using Profit First for yourself, you're well positioned to start teaching your team members, number one, about the value of Profit First in your business. And then number two, how they can apply it in their own lives to have more, a feeling of more control around their finances and feeling like they're on solid financial footing. And I think that's so interesting because a lot of times, if there's not a feeling of I'm solid in my finances, that will get an A player looking for another opportunity where they can go make more money. And actually, the issue may not be that they need to make more money. They may not have had good control over their finances. So if you can teach them some financial literacy, again, that goes towards retaining those A players.
And I'm a case in point of that. I'll be vulnerable here and say that when I came to Tap the Potential, I didn't understand Profit First. And I didn't come from a background of really learning and taking and owning my own financial literacy. So many incredible thought leaders out there who are talking about this, but we really have to seek it out for ourselves. So if you understand that and you can say, hey, A player, let me teach you about something that is really going to help you change your money mindset, really think about turning from that scarcity to abundance mindset, which is so prevalent, and equip them with the tools and the resources to understand how to take that on. It has been a game changer in my life. And I can honestly say, as I'm taking that breath out, that's really how I felt when I started to learn through the A player development plan, what is Profit First? And how do you understand finances in a way so that you can really build work that supports life? And what does that look like for you? So I love that we have created an opportunity for business owners to take on Profit First and then also teach it to their A players, because it makes a huge impact.
Absolutely. Yes.
So other things that our Gen Zers and really all A players, right? We're talking about current workforce trends, but we've got millennials, we've got Gen Z, and we still have our baby boomers. And something that we all, I'm sure, have heard is that the wage growth is expected to slow to a pace closer to inflation. So you will see some corporate perks that are going to continue to rise, but more traditional benefits like 401k plans and insurance will decline over time. So there's an opportunity there for you to stand out.
This, I think, is so interesting because one of the biggest stress points for small business owners has been, how do we get A players when we can't afford to offer health insurance? And we're going to start seeing that declining in the corporate world now. And so, again, if you are strong in highlighting the intangible perks of working with you and teaching your team members how to be financially strong, they will be able to make better choices for themselves around the benefits that they need, then they may need to be acquiring on their own, but you're supporting them in that way. So I think this is going to be an interesting trend to watch over the next few years in the corporate world, Kaitlyn.
Absolutely. And something else that comes to mind that we need to keep track of is salary transparency. We're seeing more and more people having that conversation around salary, and we're going to continue to see that be a significant recruitment trend.
Yes. And the other trend that I know you're about to get to is the remote and hybrid work options. This one is so interesting to me because with COVID, we all learned how to get things done remotely. And those employers that have embraced flexibility with their team and created options to be in the office or to work remotely when possible have really stood out as employers of choice. And there's a phrase, laptop lifestyle. And I'm actually not an advocate of the laptop lifestyle. I want team members when you're off to be off, not, taking your laptop with you on weekends or going to the beach with your laptop. But definitely what we're seeing in the workforce is that people want the option to work remotely and to get their work done in a way that works for them around their personal life.
That's such a great point. And we're also seeing this rise of the focus on employee well-being. So our A players demanding that employers prioritize work that supports life and that overall well-being, and that can be part of that. But since the pandemic hit, the workforce has really made it clear that this is something that they want to see all employers embrace. And this can look differently for anyone. It can be flexible work schemes. It can be childcare support or financial advice. There could be so many perks that you haven't unlocked or realized that might be able to help you stand out as that employer of choice so that you can continue to maintain that healthy culture and work environment in the office that they can get excited about.
Culture is hands down going to set you up as an employer of choice. And we teach this in the How to Hire the Best course. The immutable laws that we support you in developing in your business become the seeds of your culture. They help to create your unique employer brand so that you can use that to really differentiate yourself. One of the things that I think is so impactful in the How to Hire the Best course is we support you in writing a job ad that is different, that really speaks to the A players that you want to attract. And we show you how to weave in your immutable laws and your culture throughout that job ad. And that some of the best success stories that come out of our How to Hire the Best course start with the job ad, because you learn how to filter out the wrong people for your culture with that job ad and attract the right people. And so as you start, you get your first A player who matches your culture, and then your second and third. And now it's almost like you have this big tipping point where the culture becomes stronger and stronger in the business. And so culture is one of those timeless things. It's listed right now as a current trend. This is not a trend. People have wanted culture, good culture in the workplace for years. And again, if you want to hear more about building culture, go back and listen to the last episode where I dove into how you create a great place to work. Kaitlyn, I think that one of the last pieces we need to talk about here is leveraging technology. That's definitely a trend in hiring. And this is on the employer side, there are a lot of AI tools that you can use to streamline the hiring process. And I'm a fan of streamlining the hiring process and really reducing the time that you as a business owner have to spend sorting through applications, interviewing people, and everything that we teach in the How to Hire the Best course already reduces that time. But now we're looking at, hey, there are some AI tools that can really make this process easier for you, the small business owner. And what I want to say about this is there's a variety of tools emerging. I don't want to share any specifics here today because things are changing so rapidly right now in the field of AI. But what we'll do is we'll put a link in the show notes to an article that summarizes some of the most current options. And I would really encourage you as you look through these options, some of them are for larger companies, so just scroll right past those. But there are a few in there that are really designed specifically for small business owners. And take a look at that and see, ask yourself, is the investment of time in learning this really going to help me streamline my hiring process to save me time?
Absolutely. And I think that we've seen great success with being able to leverage AI to streamline hiring processes and support clients. And I think that the more that we embrace that, and it's going to free up that time for us as business owners because we understand the hiring process. That's why you have the PTSD, right? It can be grueling, but there are tools out there that can support you in this. So the last thing that we want to share, and it may sound simple, but internal hiring and upskilling. The employers that focus on internal hires and training to fill key roles rather than relying solely on external recruitment are going to see more hiring wins.
Absolutely. And so this is so exciting because this aligns with everything that we've been teaching you in the How to Hire the Best course. So it's much easier to bring people in at entry level and then develop them through the company over time. And A players will quickly advance into leadership roles in your company. And so this aligns with what A players want. They want growth opportunities and development. And as a small business owner, one area where you can really stand out and be different is that an A player can come in at an entry level role in your business and advance within a few years into a leadership role. That's very different than what they get out there in the corporate world, where that can take them years to advance to these higher levels. So you offer rapid skill development and training. And when you're using the A player development plan, you're helping them document their trajectory and be planful and mindful of their trajectory. So they see that there are real opportunities for advancement, not just lip service, because a lot of companies give lip service to this. And so that's the easiest way for you to hire and grow your team, is to up-level your existing team members. And it makes your recruitment a lot easier, and it will help you retain your A players. So as we close out, there's a few key resources I want to share with you. First off, the A player development plan and mini course. This is totally free. You can download your A player development plan tracker and have access to the mini course that is designed to support you, the business owner, in mentoring your A players. And it is also, there are videos in there for your A players that they can go and watch and understand how to use their A player development plan, because it's the A players who fill out the development plan. So this is not extra work for you, the business owner. This is a tool that you can use to guide your A players and support them. So you can get your A player development plan and mini course at tapthepotential.com/A player. The other resource that I want to share with you is join our How to Hire the Best course and really let Kaitlyn and I support you in becoming that employer of choice. This is a 5-module course. It's not long. It's very simple. You can do it in 5 weeks if you wanted to. And you get our support as you're working through the Move Forward action steps. And each Move Forward action steps helps you build your A player attraction system. 9 out of 10 small businesses have no system in place to attract A players. So talk about really differentiating yourself and your company and setting yourself up to be profitable when you get this system in place. And the coolest thing about the How to Hire the Best course is that when you complete your Move Forward action steps, you get to be featured in our Great Place to Work spotlight, because we know that you are doing work on yourself as a leader. You're bringing in the culture of the company, and you're identifying ways to support your A players. And so all of that gets built in as you go through the How to Hire the Best course. And we love featuring you in our Great Place to Work spotlight, because then you have an endorsement from a third party that you're a great place to work. You're putting attention here, and you can use that to help you attract more A players to your team. So tapthepotential.com/course. We'd love to have you in the course. And then if you want to just get a taste of what it's like to be in the How to Hire the Best course and what you're going to be learning, come to our workshop that's coming up, 3 simple steps to hiring your next A player. tapthepotential.com/workshop. Kaitlyn, any final words as we close out for today?
I hope that we will see you there on May 7th for our 3 simple steps to hiring your next A player. It's going to be great, and you don't want to miss it.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for being with us today, everyone. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in today. Join our team and your fellow entrepreneurs in our Tap the Potential Mighty Networks community at tapthepotential.com/group. Share your aha moments from today's episode. Ask us questions and join in on the fun. Finally, share today's episode with a friend if you know a friend who would enjoy it. Profit by Design is in the top 5% of podcasts globally because listeners like you share with friends. Thank you. This is real life business. Keep your chin up. Keep moving forward. You got this.